Well, in the beginning, it was super scary. I knew there's no training wheels. The bike's wobbling a
Okay,
bit.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was
Um,
scary.
yeah. And then, but there was like this kind of known safety net, like with my dad back there holding the
Yes.
seat. I knew nothing was really bad was going to happen, or at least that's what I believed, till the end of the driveway.
Welcome to Stories from Under the Piano. I'm Craig Addy, your host. I'm the musician who listens to the listener. This podcast offers a glimpse into the world of Under the Piano, an immersive musical experience I've been providing for 15 years. Over 1,000 people have discovered comfort, connection, and healing through these sessions lying under my grand piano. In each podcast episode, a guest shares a personal story, and I respond with a spontaneous piano piece that evokes the emotions and mood of their story. My mission is to connect, comfort, and inspire through the universal language of music. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's dive in. Today, I'm delighted to have Carin Mikos as my guest. Carin, where do you live?
I live in Cheshire, Connecticut, East Coast, USA.
Yes, so quite a ways from me. Carin and I have known each other for a couple of years now, right? At least 2
Just
years.
two years, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've even done some work together, which we might talk about a little bit after this. But so I want to tell you a little bit about Carin, and you can add anything that you want to Carin as we go here. So Carin is a registered nurse of 27 years, and she's been an end of life specialist for 3 years. And she's also the founder of the Quietus House, which is a concierge offering that allows folks to plan their death, leave a legacy, and to also offer them grief support. I've seen some of Carin's work. It's really magical what she does. And as she says, she holds a space for love and loss to coexist. Is there anything you want to add to that, Carin?
I just said it's my heart's fulfillment to be of service to folks at end of life.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to ask you, what story would you like to share for today's episode?
I know that we had talked about a story, um, but I'm going to talk about a different one, I think. And this one, I have this such a distinct memory of learning how to ride like a two-wheeled bike for the first time.
Uh-huh.
And I probably was about, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. We had just moved into a new home, and my father had me behind, like he was holding me up from behind the seat. And we took the training wheels off, and he just kept telling me, just pedal, pedal, pedal. So my little legs, they went as fast as they could. And before I knew it, I was riding my bike for the first time, and my father was hooting and hollering. And what happened next was something that we really didn't plan for. The end of the driveway, and suddenly I hear him start yelling, "Turn, turn!" So I didn't know what he meant by that. I kind of figured it out. I turned the steering wheel, and next thing I know, I had done like a whole 180 turn right into a tree, bounced off the tree. So I learned to ride the bike and had my first bike accident, all in the same moment. It was joy and horror and joy again, all in once.
Okay. So I think you kind of summarized the emotional kind of route there. You were all excited and joyful about it.
Well, in the beginning, it was super scary. I knew there's no training wheels. The bike's wobbling a
Okay,
bit.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was
Um,
scary.
yeah. And then, but there was like this kind of known safety net, like with my dad back there holding the
Yes.
seat. I knew nothing was really bad was going to happen, or at least that's what I believed, till the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
And we had
Yeah.
no plan. That's so funny.
And then success. You're riding.
Yeah. Yes.
And what was that like?
Smiling ear to ear. You know, I I don't know if I remember this exactly or I just told the story and I remember it, but the wind in my hair, that whole experience.
Yeah.
And it was like a freedom too. Like suddenly I had access to new places in the world on my bike.
Yeah. And then when things didn't quite go as planned, what was that like?
Yeah, that was, the end of the driveway kind of had a little hill to it. So I picked up some speed and I didn't know what to do. I really had no idea what to do. And then I just heard my father yelling, turn. Um, I really wasn't sure what that meant. Like we hadn't discussed any of this.
Yes. Yeah.
He just told me to pedal. Um, so, I figured it out and sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
No
And
helmets back then either.
yes, well, of course not. Yeah. I had that experience too. I remember learning. It took me several tries to finally succeed. Yeah. And
Yeah.
when you
And then
had
there was
the, sorry, what's that?
I said, and then there was this tree.
Yeah. So you hit the tree, and then what? What was going through your mind then? Were you
Um,
crying or were you upset? Like, what were you?
no, I think it really was like shock and awe. Like just shock and awe. Like, where did this tree come from? And, I really wasn't going too fast. So I think I kind of just bounced off of it. And my father was running towards me. So it was just like shock and awe. I wasn't hurt. I was ready to go again.
Okay, so you were excited to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a
No
life-damaging
injuries.
experience.
Yeah, they say around here, no harm, no foul. So it just kept going.
Okay. Anything else about this story that you want to let me know?
I think it really, I've been thinking about my parents a lot lately. And it really, for me, illustrates how, for me, my parents were always right there behind me
Mm,
and kind of gave you the push to fly, to ride, to, you know, get out there on your own.
yeah. All right.
So I think that's why that came up today.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, let's create a little musical story to represent your learning to ride a bike for the first time.
Thanks.
Right. How was that?
I loved hitting the tree again.
You heard where the tree happened, eh?
That's always awesome. Yeah. And I felt like the really quick, lighthearted parts really captured, the the feeling of riding the bike for the first time.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Really great.
Okay. Well, I want you to share a little bit about your business, anything that you'd like to let us know. And I'll put the links for any links that you've given me in the show notes as well, so people can find their way to you. Is there anything else you'd like to let us know? Or it could be about things other than your business that you want to let people know about.
Well, I think I want people to know that it's okay to grieve. Like it's okay. And it's okay to share it. It's okay to keep it to yourself. And I want people to know that there are different ways for you to be able to express that grief. And I'm here to help you figure out those ways, whatever works for you. And sometimes that includes Craig.
Yes,
If we
we've worked together. Yeah, that's been a wonderful experience. You've worked with other people as well. Why don't you say a little bit about some of the sorts of things that you've done for people?
Yeah, so I worked with a woman who, through movement, through guided meditation and dance, can locate where in your body you might hold your grief. Some people hold it in their chest or in their back or their neck, even.
Mm.
And once you can kind of locate it, identify it, she can actually help you to move it. So maybe that chronic neck pain that you've had ever since you lost your wife or your significant other, um, disappears. That
Now,
pain disappears.
is that someone I know? I'm sure she wouldn't mind if we dropped her name.
Yeah, Kristen Mangione, you know her.
Yes.
Yes, we worked with her. People writing is a very common way to have folks express their grief. So we can go through some writing exercises.
Yeah.
Um, just guided meditation and gratitude practice is also another way.
Yeah.
Another way is really to prepare for death. It really helps people to say what needs to be said prior to you passing. So the passing is more complete,
Yeah.
which is a real gift.
Yeah. Um, Both my parents are elderly. My dad's 98, my mom is 92, and um just last night I was thinking I must phone mom. It's been 4 days since we've talked. And I thought, oh, it's a little too late. I'll call her tomorrow. And then I just suddenly had this thought, and I've had this thought many times. Well,
Mhm.
maybe there won't be a tomorrow, you know.
Right.
And that's always the case, but as people in our lives get older, we naturally have this probability game that we start playing in our minds.
Yeah, it's inevitable, right? We're
Yeah.
all gonna get there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so let's talk about it. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyhow, I called her today.
Great, great. Anytime I've ever had those moments where I think, ah, it's too late or I'll wait, I always remember my one of my first cases I ever had as a nurse. And this patient told me she wanted to call her friend. It was like 11:30 at night. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Um, I'm here all night. I'll make sure that as soon as I'm off, I'll sit with you and we'll call your friends. And she was, not happy about it, but, seemed to be okay with it. Long story short is she passed away that night.
Mm,
So I learned like, just call them. Even if you say, I'm sorry it's so late, but I wanted you to know I love you.
Yeah, thank you for
Go
that.
back to sleep.
Because really, last night I could have called. Um, yeah, I could have. It probably would have been all right. Anyhow, it all worked out. Jay was there when I called today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Great.
Well, Carin, thank you for being on my podcast. Thank you for what you do in the world. It is so needed. Um, I don't think we have the best culture for dealing with grief and loss. So thank you for being someone who's changing that conversation and making a difference for people.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure. And thanks for giving me a musical like soundtrack to that memory. That was great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Carin. Bye for now.
Bye.
Do you have a compelling personal story you'd like to share on Stories from Under the Piano? Contact me today to inquire about becoming a guest. Visit craigaddy.com and let's explore the possibility of sharing your unique story and creating a beautiful musical piece together.